A good day to all of you. Today, we are creating the 17th lesson in our microbit lesson series. So let's begin. First, click on the plus mark at the top of the screen and open a new tab. Now, type as www.makecode.com in the address bar and enter the MakeCode website. From here, click on microbit. And now, you're ready to start the project. Click on New Project and rename it as Project 17. Click on the Create button here. Now you have entered the project. Let's create another wonderful game with the help of remote controllers today. All of you must have played the Tetris game. So today we are going to create a Tetris game like this. You little ones will love this game a lot. I will explain what happens in this game while creating the code. First, let's create the necessary variables for this. I click Variables and click Make a Variable button. Let's give the name of this variable as GameOn and click OK. For the next variable, once again click the Make a Variable button. The name of this variable is given as X and the OK button is clicked. In the same way, let's click a Make a Variable button again and give the name of the variable as Y. OK, one more variable is required. For this, I click a Make a Variable button again and give the name of this variable as delay and click OK. Right. Next, assign the values to these variables at the beginning of the game. For that, I drag a set delay to code block under variables into the onStart code block. Click on the arrow in front of delay and select Game On. Drag the true code block in the logic for the value. Click variables again and drag a set delay to code block here. Change the name of the variable to X and connect a pick random code block under math for the value. As values, let's give 0 and 4. Click variables and drag a set delay to code block like this once again. Let's change the variable as Y and give 0 for the value. Once again, drag a set delay to code block under variables like this. Let's give the value here as 500. Okay, now we have finished assigning values to the variable. At the beginning, the LED in the 0, 0 position needs to light up. For this, under the LED, let's drag an existing plot XY code block onto this onStart code block. Let the values of X and Y be 0 and 0. Next, drag a pause code block under basics here. Let's change the time to 100 milliseconds. Okay. Now at the beginning, the LED that lights up at position 0, 0 needs to gradually move down. Let's prepare the code for that now. Drag the forever code block here because this needs to happen when the game is on. Instead, drag an if code block under logic. Let's connect the game on code block in the variables for the condition. Okay. Now, currently the LED is off and the LED below it need to be lit. For that, the Y position of the LED should increase by 1. I drag an unplot XY code block under the LED into this if code block. For X, drag the X code block in variables, and for Y, drag the Y code block in the variables. Now let's drag a change delay by 1 code block under variables here. Let's select the variable name Y instead of delay. Okay, now the value of Y variable can be given as the Y position and the next LED can be lit. Now, I drag and plot XY code block under LED into this if code block. Let's connect the X code block under variables for X and the Y code block under variables for Y. Now, in this way, there needs to be a gap between the time one LED lights up and the next LED lights up. For that, let's drag a pause code block under basics here. As a value, a delay code block in the variable is connected here. Okay, now we have finished preparing the code to light up the LEDs one by one in one vertical LED row. In this way, when the LEDs in one vertical LED row are lit, another randomly selected LED row needs to be lit from top to bottom in the same way as before. Let's create the code to select a random row like this. I drag an if code block under logic below this if code block into this forever code block. Let's drag an O code block under logic for the condition. A code block with the equal sign under logic is dragged to the left side of the O sign. Let's drag a Y code block under variables to the left side of the equal sign and give 4 to the right side. Okay, now let's drag a point XY code block under the LED from this O sign to the right side. For X, drag an X code block under variables, and for Y, connect a code block with the plus sign in map. Connect a Y code block under variables to the left side of the plus sign and type 1 to the right side. Okay, now look at this condition. If one LED in a row lights up to the last LED, then the value of the Y variable is 4. So here we checked if Y is equal to 4. Otherwise, it is checked whether the next LED is lit, that is the LED at X, Y plus 1 position. If one of these two conditions is true, then the current LED row has finished lighting, so it is necessary to randomly pick another LED row. For that, in the LED, let's give a random value between 0 and 4 for the X position and 0 for the Y position. I drag a set delay true code block in the variables into this if code block. Let's select X for the variable. Now, a pick random code block under map is connected here and 0 and 4 are given as the values. Okay, once again, a set delay to code block under variables is dragged here. Let's change the variables as Y and give the value as 0. Now the X and Y position of the LED is given. Next is to turn on the LED. For this, let's drag a plot XY code block under LED here. For X, drag the X code block under variables, and for Y, drag a Y code block from under variables. Okay, now we have finished creating a part of the game. In this way, when the LED lights up randomly, the player can press button A and button B and move the flashing LEDs to the place he wants. In this way, the user can move the LED left and right and complete a vertical or horizontal LED row. If a horizontal LED row is lit in this way, the value of the delay variable is reduced to 50. And the game needs to start again. If a vertical LED line is lit, the game is over and an emoji is displayed. Let's prepare the code for that now. Okay, I again drag an if code block under logic down from this if code block. First, let's look at the horizontal LED row completion scenario. For the condition here, I drag a code block with the AND sign under the logic. Let's drag a code block with the AND sign under logic to the right side of the AND sign. Drag a code block with another AND sign under logic to the right side of this AND sign. Let's drag another code block with the AND sign to the right side of this AND sign as before. Okay. Now drag a point XY code block under the LED to the left side of this first AND sign. Let X be 0 and Y be 4. Drag a point XY code block under LED to the right side of this AND sign. Let X be 1 and Y be 4. I will again drag a point XY code block under LED to the next empty space. Let's give X as 2 and Y as 4. Again, like this, drag a point XY code block under the LED to the empty space. Let X be 3 and Y be 4. There is one more vacancy left. Here, as before, let's drag a point XY code block under the LED and give 4 for X and 4 for Y. Okay, now we have finished creating the condition. Now look at this condition. Here, we checked whether the LEDs at within brackets 0, 4, within brackets 1, 4, within brackets 2, 4, within brackets 3, 4, and within brackets 4, 4 positions are lit. If the condition is true, the bottom horizontal row is completely lit. Now, reduce the value of the delay variable by 50 and clear the screen. I drag this change delay by 1 code block under variables into this if code block. Let's give -50 for the value here. Drag the clear screen code block under basics again like this. Okay, next is the opportunity to light up one vertical row of LEDs completely. Again, I drag an if code block under logic below this if code block. For the condition, let's drag a code block with the AND sign under logic. A code block with the equal sign in logic is dragged to the left side of the and sign. Let's connect a y code block under variables to the left side of the equal sign and give 0 to the right side. Now drag a point xy code block under the LED to the right side of this and sign. For x, connect a x code block under variables, and for y, connect a code block with the plus sign in math. Let's drag a y code block in variables to the left side of this plus sign and give 1 to the right side of the plus sign. Okay, now look at this condition. We can check if the value of the y variable is equal to 0. If the vertical row of LEDs is completely lit, the next value of the y variable will be 0. And at this time, the LEDs at within brackets x, y plus 1 position will also be lit. If both these conditions are true, a vertical LED row is fully lit. Therefore, after finishing the game, you need to display an emoji. I drag a set delay to code block in the variables into this if code block. Let's select game on instead of delay. Now, a pause code block under logic is linked here. Let's drag the show icon code block under basics again like this. For the icon, I selected the chessboard icon. Okay, there is still a small part left. We have not yet prepared the code to move the lit LED left and right when the button A and button B is pressed. First, when button A is pressed, let's set the code to move the LED to the left. For that, I drag a forever code block under basics back here. This is the forever code block. Inside, let's drag an if code block under logic. For the condition, a button A is pressed in the input is connected to a code block. Now, let's drag an if code block under logic to this if code block. Next, we need to check if the x position of this LED is not equal to 0. If the x position becomes 0 because the LED is at the left end, it cannot be moved further to the left. Therefore, let's see if the x position of the LED is not equal to 0. I will drag a code block with the equal sign in the logic here. Click on the arrow in front of the equal sign and select the unequal sign. An x code block in the variables is dragged to the left side of this unequal sign and 0 is given to the right side. Okay, now if this condition is true, first the currently lit LED should be turned off. For that, an unplot XY code block under the LED is dragged here. Connect the X code block in the variables for X. Connect the Y code block in the variables for Y. Now to move the LED to the left, the X position of the LED needs to decrease by 1. For that, let's drag a change delay code block in the variables. Click on the arrow in front of delay and select X. -1 is given here. Now you can turn on the LED corresponding to this X position. For that, a plot XY code block under the LEDs is dragged like this. Connect the X code block in the variables for X and connect the Y code block in the variables for Y. Drag a pause code block under basics here and change the time to 500 milliseconds. Okay, next in the same way when button B is pressed, the LED should move to the right. For that, instead of creating a new code, we can easily duplicate the code block created for the button A. I right click on this if code block and duplicate it. Let's change the places we want in the duplicated code. First, change it to button B here. For the LED to move to the right, the current X position must be at the position not equal to 4. Therefore, let's change the condition of the second if code block to 4. X is unequal. When moving to the right, the value of the X position needs to increase by 1. So here it is changed as change X by 1. Okay, now we have finished creating the Tetris game. You can click the play button here and play the game. Also, if you have a microbit device, you can connect the microbit to your computer and play this game. If you made it in this way, you little ones are very talented. If you want to share this project, click the second share button on the upper right side of the interface and click on the publish to share button here. Now you can copy the link and share it. To see the creation you made, WhatsApp it to the phone number note 7681252244. Tell your friends also about the creation you made. Send it to me and also send it to your friends to see this app. And one more thing, you too can join the DP Coding School Telegram group and try to be the DP Code Champ Best of the Week once every week. For that, stay in touch with us. And one more thing, join our DP Coding Club and now you can start a DP Coding Club in your school as well. We are ready to give you all the guidance for that. If you want to start a DP Coding Club in any school with computer labs, make a request through the principal to the email address info@dpcc.lk. So let's meet with another interesting lesson through DP Coding School. Have a nice day.